Good morning and welcome in to the WRMN 10 o'clock news. I'm Dennis Green. 9th District candidate is indicted over ICE protests. The bus stops here. DuPage County inspired loophole scrambles efforts to save transit. Also, Batavia mulls a ban on ICE using city properties. And we celebrate 75 years of educational radio here in Elgin. Before we get started with those headline stories, let's go ahead and run down our weather. It's currently 45 degrees here in downtown Elgin, partly cloudy, as we go up to a full sunny day of 57 degrees. Tomorrow, the cloud coverage comes back with a high of 54 and a low of 36. Saturday, same coverage of 49 being our high and 32 being our low. Sunday, we get a few more degrees, but not much more sun at a high of 53 and a low of 39. Again, it's currently 45 degrees out in the Fox River Valley. Let's head on over to our lottery number drawings for Wednesday, October 29th. Good luck. Midday pick 3, 5, 7, 4 with a 9 on the end. And the midday pick 4 coming in at 2, 5, 3, 5 with a 2 on the end. And the evening pick 3 coming in at 4, 0, 9, a 5 being that fireball. And the evening pick 4 coming in at 9, 5, 9, 5 with a 4 on the end. The midday lucky comes in at 15, 17, 23, 31, and 34. The evening lucky, 2, 6, 14, 31, and 40. And Powerball comes in at 5, 24, 49, 60, 65, and a 1 on that end. We stay here in Elgin for our first story as the Elgin Symphony Orchestra and the Hemmans are celebrating the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, at a concert and community celebration today at the Hemmans at 45 Symphony Way. Pre-concert activities including food, free face painting and crafts, and more begin at 5:30, and a pre-concert talk about the holiday history is at 6:30 p.m. Vocalist Jose Carlos Diaz and the BFH Dance Ensemble joins the ESO in performing popular boleros including Sabar a mí and La Roma. At 7:30 p.m., tickets are $25 or $5 for students. Are available at elginsymphony.org. That's ESO. Offers free youth tickets for age 17 and under with a paid full ticket. In DuPage County, it's Harvest Week. Community organizations in Woodridge, Downers Grove, Naperville, and Bolingbrook will participate in a Harvest Week food drive to support the West Suburban Community Food Pantry. Canned meats, peanut butter, cereal, rice, pasta, canned fruits, and veggies will help keep pantry shelves stocked and feed families, children, and seniors in need. The Woodridge-based pantry serves about 1,000 households every week. Items can be dropped off during open hours the week of November 2nd to the 9th at the Athletic Recreation Center at 8201 Janes Avenue in Woodridge, the Downers Grove Park District Recreation Center, 4500 Belmont Road, and the Downers Grove Park District Lincoln Center at 935 Maple Avenue, and in Naperville, the First Congressional United Church of Christ is collecting items between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Sunday, November 2nd, and Sunday, November 9th at 25 East Benton Avenue. The Naperville Sunrise Rotary will accept items at the Naperville County Club or Country Club between 8 to 10 a.m. Friday, November 14th at 25W 570 Chicago Avenue. When we come back, we'll hit one of our headline stories as suburban elementary and middle schools are among the U.S.'s news best. So stick around, more to come here on the WRMN 10 o'clock news.
Here on WRMN AM 1410, we like to keep you informed and in tune to what's happening here in the Fox River Valley and what's going on here on WRMN. We recognize the importance of local radio to be a part of the conversation and to be a part of the community for the community.
You know, we talked about the importance of community theater, but supporting community radio is a big deal too. And, you know, for WRMN, this is a really cool thing that you guys do every day and a really important thing. You have to have a local media outlet to talk about what's going on in your town. So you guys do a nice job.
Tune in to AM 1410, WRMN. Don't forget, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/WRMN Radio. Keep in tune and informed on what's happening here in the Fox River Valley, right here on WRMN.
They're simple, boring, never thought of until they're needed. They're windshield wipers. Only when Mary Anderson became annoyed that New York trolley drivers were stopping to wipe their windshield by hand did anybody do something about it. By attaching a spring-loaded arm to a rubber blade, one woman made travel easier and safer. Look to innovate and pass it on. From passiton.com.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability, or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Welcome back to the WRMN 10 o'clock news. Several suburban schools made the list of U.S. News and World Report's 2026 Best Elementary and Middle Schools rankings released on Tuesday. The report includes about 47,000 public elementary schools and more than 23,000 middle schools ranked at the state and district levels. State rankings on charter schools also are included. The 2026 rankings are based on publicly available data from the U.S. Department of Education. For district-level rankings, at least 2 of the top-performing schools must rank in the top 75% of the overall elementary or middle school rankings to qualify for recognition, according to a news release. The methodology focuses on state assessment of students who score at or above proficient in mathematics and reading/language arts, while accounting for student background and achievement in course subjects. Student-teacher ratios are applied to break ties in the overall score, according to U.S. News. These recognized schools, quote, excel in fostering students' achievement and providing exceptional learning environments for all, said Lamont Jones, managing editor for the education at U.S. News. Among the top 25 Illinois middle schools are Daniel Wright Junior High School in Lincolnshire, Kennedy Junior High School, Northbrook Junior High School, Maple School in Northbrook, Butler Junior High, Twin Groves Middle School in Buffalo Grove, And among the top 25 Illinois elementary schools are the Lane Elementary School in Hindale, Meadow Glens Elementary School in Naperville, Westmore Elementary School in Northbrook, Highlands Elementary School in Naperville, Ellsworth Elementary School in Naperville, West Scott Elementary School in Northbrook, Greenbrier Elementary School in Northbrook, Monroe Elementary School in Hinsdale, Howe Street Elementary School in Barrington, Oak Grove Elementary School in Libertyville, Barbara B. Rose Elementary School in South Barrington. And among the top 25 Illinois charter schools are Prairie Crossing Charter School in Grays Lake, Elgin Math and Science Academy in Elgin, and Cambridge Lakes Charter School in Pingree Grove. For a complete list of schools, visit usnudes.com. You can find it under education. We're going to highlight yet another school, or rather an educational radio station. WEPS launched revitalized programming lineup as it continues to provide a unique opportunity for students. As it celebrates its 75th anniversary, Elgin Area School District U46 radio station, WEPS 88.9 FM, is launching a revitalized lineup of programming, including a podcast, student-created content, and evening story time designed to help parents ease their children to sleep. WEPS made history as the first FM radio station to transmit from the Fox River Valley, signing onto the air on January 13th in 1950 from what was the Elgin High School near downtown Elgin. Now, they were the first FM radio station to transmit in the Fox River Valley. This is coming from WRMN, the first AM radio station to broadcast in the Fox River Valley. To this day, it is the oldest continuously operating school district radio station in Illinois and one of the oldest in the United States. As originally envisioned, the station provided technical vocational training for students at Elgin High School, and it was operated jointly by both faculty members and students. Michael Mickey Klein, one of the many students who benefited from the WEPS broadcasting experience, said, "I learned more than just about broadcasting. It was how to communicate and relate with people, how to create something that can help and or benefit an entire community. With those basic skills, you can always survive, no matter what the job market or economy can throw at you." Klein, a former Streamwood High School student, built a career in broadcasting. He is the founding chairman of the North Arkansas Performing Arts Coalition and owner of KBHQ-FM, a radio station in Harrison, Arkansas. Although WEPS has evolved over the decades, most of the original objectives for the station still remain relevant to this day. Once offered as part of the curriculum at high schools, U46 students still can gain valuable practical experience in broadcasting and communication by participating in the radio club hosted at several of the district's schools. To read more and see some of the amazing pictures from U46 at the WEPS studios, head on over to thedailyherald.com. When we come back, we will hit one of our headline stories. That's right, Abba Ghazala, 9th District candidate, indicted over ICE protests. We'll read more about that from the Daily Herald, so stick around for more information here on the WRMN 10 o'clock news.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
Join your co-hosts Mike Tooman and Paul Burvitt on our weekly radio hour, Chief Guard of the Republic, where we talk about all things national security, defense, personal security, safety, and dealing with law enforcement situations. Call in 847-931-1410. Ask us questions. We will get you answers. Every week, Saturday, noon to 1 on 1410 AM WRMN Elgin. Streaming on WRMN1410.com. Chat with us on WRMN's YouTube live channel.
Start your weekend right with Dino's Night Out, Fridays from 2 to 4 p.m. on WRMN 1410 AM. Dino covers what's hot across the Fox Valley, from live shows to food fests and everything in between. Proudly sponsored by the legendary Arcada Theater at 105 East Main Street in St. Charles. Your home for unforgettable concerts, comedy, and more. Tune in on WRMN 1410 AM or stream at WRMN1410.com. Dino's Night Out, your guide to the weekend vibe.
Welcome back to the WRMN 10 o'clock news. Abba Ghazala, 9th District candidate, is indicted over ICE protests. A prominent Democratic candidate for the largely suburban congressional seat has been indicted in connection with the ongoing protests outside the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in Broadview. Kat Abba Ghazala, quote, forcibly intimidated, and interfered with an officer of the United States on September 26th, according to the indictment handed up last week in federal court. Abba Ghazala, 26 of Chicago, is seeking the 9th District congressional seat long held by retiring U.S. Rep. Jan Schakowsky. Stretching diagonally from Chicago's north side through parts of the northwest suburb and west to Cary, the 9th District includes portions of Cook, Lake, and McHenry counties. In a statement following the unsealing of the indictment Wednesday, Abba Ghazala called the charges, quote, a political prosecution and a gross attempt at silencing dissent. She continued, as I and others exercised our First Amendment rights, ICE has hit, dragged, thrown, shot with pepper balls, and tear-gassed hundreds of protesters, myself included. Simply because we had the gall to say masked men abducting our neighbors and terrorizing our communities cannot be the new normal. In a statement Wednesday, Andrew S. Butros, United States Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois, said federal officials must be allowed to perform their duties without being intimidated or threatened. He said, as we have warned repeatedly, we will seek to hold accountable those who cross the line from peaceful protest to unlawful actions or conspiracies that interrupt, hinder, or impede the due administration of justice, he said. The rule of law must always be upheld. Abba Ghazala is one of 6 defendants listed in the indictment, along with Michael Rabbitt, 62, of Chicago, Andre Martin, 27, of Providence, Rhode Island, Catherine Sharp, 29, of Chicago, and Brian Shaw, 38, of Oak Park, and Jocelyn Walsh, 31, of Chicago. Sharp is running for the Cook County's Board 12th District seat, which represents parts of Chicago. Straw is an Oak Park Village trustee. The 11-page indictment alleges they conspired to prevent an unnamed federal law enforcement officer listed as Agent A from conducting his duties as he arrived at the Broadview facility in a vehicle about 6:45 a.m., or rather 7:45 a.m., September 26th. The indictment states the defendant surrounded the vehicle, banged on it aggressively, scratched pig into the paint, and broke a side view mirror and windshield wiper. Abigazala specifically put her hands on the vehicle's hood while remaining directly in its path, preventing Agent A from getting into the facility, the indictment alleges. Abigazala said Wednesday she will fight the charges. Quote, "The Trump administration wants you to be afraid of speaking out against it and its anti-democratic power grab," she said. "And there are plenty of reasons to be afraid right now. We are also must overcome that fear. This case targets our rights to protest, speak freely, and associate with anyone who disagrees with this government." She and the other defendants are scheduled to appear in court in Chicago on Wednesday, November 5th, for an arraignment, court records indicate. Abigazala is part of a crowded field of Democrats seeking the party's nomination for next year's seat. The former journalist and social media influencer is also the top fundraiser, reporting more than $1.2 million in donations in recent campaign disclosure filings. The contest also includes Evanston Mayor Daniel Biss, State Senator Laura Fine of Glenview, and Mike Simmons of Chicago, Skokie resident Bushra Amawala, Evanston resident Patricia A. Brown, Bethany Johnson, Jeff Cohen, and Nick Patati, Chicagoans Kat Abigazala, Bruce Leon, Justin Ford, and Sam Poland, and Wilmette resident Phil Andrew. Biss and Fine issued statements Wednesday in support of Abigazala. "I am disgusted by the partisan and unethical indictments of Abigazala," said Fine. And Bliss said, "As someone who has protested at Broadview multiple times, I know these protests are nonviolent demonstrations against the kidnapping of our neighbors." Read more right there on the front page of the Daily Herald. When we come back, we've got more news here and around the Fox River Valley. I'm Dennis Green. I'll be right back after this.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Centos. Illinois joined 25 other states in suing the Trump administration, accusing the U.S. Department of Agriculture of unlawfully halting the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program during the ongoing government shutdown. The USDA announced that nearly 2 million Illinois residents would not receive November food stamp benefits, citing a lack of funds and refusing to use $5 billion in contingency money. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul called the move illegal and cruel, saying it would harm families already struggling with high costs. Some Supplemental Security income recipients won't get a payment in November because their regular November payment was issued early on October 31st due to the date falling on a Saturday. As a result, they received 2 payments in October, while regular Social Security benefits will still be paid on schedule in November. A federal judge has ordered senior U.S. Border Patrol official Greg Bovino to meet with her daily to report on the government's immigration crackdown in Chicago following weeks of protests, tear gas, gas incidents and allegations of excessive force. U.S. District Judge Sarah Ellis expressed outrage over reports that agents used tear gas during a children's Halloween parade, calling the incident deeply disturbing. Ellis emphasized that her role is to ensure law enforcement actions comply with the Constitution, not to block immigration enforcement. She also ordered Bovino to turn over all use of force reports from Operation Midway Blitz, which has led to more than 1,800 arrests since September. The Kane County Coroner's Office has identified the two Chicago residents killed in a Saturday night crash on I-88 in North Aurora as 32-year-old Diego Navatorez and 33-year-old Samantha Ortiz. The two died around 8:10 p.m. near Mitchell Road after a two-vehicle collision. Autopsies showed their deaths were caused by multiple traumatic injuries from the crash, and toxicology tests are pending. The Coroner's Office and Illinois State Police continue to investigate the incident. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
For nearly 50 years, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council and Kane Senior Council have been dedicated to serving seniors in DuPage and Kane counties. Established in 1975, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council is a volunteer-driven 501c3 non-for-profit organization committed to helping older adults live with dignity. From providing nutritious meals to offering support services, the Kane Senior Council is there every step of the way. With programs designed to enhance independence and quality of life, they're proud to make a difference in the lives of their senior neighbors. To learn more or to volunteer, visit them at 418B Airport Road in Elgin or head to their website at caneseniorcouncil.org. Give them a call at 630-338-0999. That's 630-338-0999. That's the Kane Senior Council, caring for seniors because they deserve to live with dignity and respect. Visit caneseniorcouncil.org or call 630-338-0999 today.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. Today, patchy fog before 11 a.m., then mostly sunny with a high near 56. Wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 40. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 54. Currently, it is 45 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
To the WRMN 10 o'clock news. We're continuing on our front page style of our reports today. This comes from the Illinois Answers Project. DuPage County inspired loophole scrambles efforts to save that transit. This version of the story was published by the Illinois Answers Project. Looking for funding options to save the Chicago region's transit system from potentially crippling cuts, state lawmakers earlier this year considered what appeared to be straightforward plan: tap an existing transportation tax and use the money for transportation. The idea met a fierce backlash. The proposal targeted tax money collected for Cook and other collar counties for the Regional Transit Authority. In many instances, that money wasn't being spent on transportation at all. $83 million of roughly $193 million in transportation taxes collected last year by collar counties was spent on cops and courts. It is all legal thanks to a loophole written into the state law at the behest of DuPage County leaders in 2008. DuPage County last year collected nearly $70 million on behalf of the RTA and spent it on operations and infrastructure for the county sheriff's office. Deborah Conroy, chairperson of the DuPage County Board of Commissioners, said, "We support a strong regional transit system, but taking away the county share of RTA sales tax would have devastating effects on public safety. The collar counties have spent less than 2% of their RTA tax collections on a loosely collected web of transit services that are struggling to stay afloat. They spend the rest on law enforcement and road engineering, according to an Illinois Answers Project analysis. DuPage spent its entire share of the tax on law enforcement. It taps other revenues to fund about $1.8 million annually for paratransit and $1.25 million in yearly spending on projects related to transit like sidewalk construction, county officials said. Conroy said, "In every resident survey we do, we hear loud and clear residents' number one priority is public safety. If the state takes its revenue from us, there will be massive layoffs in the public safety sector, including the sheriff's office, state's attorney's office, and public defender and probation." During negotiations earlier this year about how to pull transit agencies from the brink of a fiscal cliff, a proposal emerged that would have redirected the collar county's shares of the RTA sales tax toward a sweeping new agency dubbed the Northeast Illinois Transit Authority. Collar County leaders strongly opposed the measure since they would lose control of tens of millions of dollars spent on county services. State lawmakers have promised another attempt to save the transit agencies from financial disaster in the veto session that was scheduled to end Thursday, but will likely have to find another revenue source for the $1.5 billion in new annual funding their plan needs. The proposal was, however, backed by the non-for-profit Metropolitan Planning Council. Audrey Winnick, Senior Director of Transportation Policy for the Council, said, "This is a sales tax levied via the Regional Transit Authority. We have a dire transit funding crisis, and we're spending this money on roads and public safety. It begs rethinking what we're doing and what our priorities are." In statements and interviews, leaders of all 5 collar counties emphasized the importance of transit in the suburbs. They also defended their decisions to delegate scant funding. They also defended their decisions to dedicate scant funding to transit services while pumping tens of millions of dollars they receive from the RTA sales tax into roadway projects and, in some cases, law enforcement. Kane County Board Chairperson Corrine Pirog said in an interview, "Right now, we have local control of the use of the money, and they're looking at a pot of resource money to be able to fund transit. Fine, but why are you taking the local money from roads, paratransit, safety, accessibility away with no way of replenishing it? The tax's origin? Well, since 2008, each Collar County has been collecting a share of the RTA tax. State leaders at the time tripled the sales tax across the 5 counties as part of the law designated to shore up the CTA's pension fund and preserve federally mandated paratransit services. The law raised the existing RTA sales tax to 1% in Cook County and 0.75% in the Collar counties, in part to fund PACE's administration of paratransit systems. But it allowed the Collars to keep 1/3 of the revenues as long as they spent the money on, quote, public transportation services or other transportation purposes. The bill lacked the votes it needed to pass, according to Conroy, until 3 Republican legislators from DuPage County offered their support if 3 words were added before the suspending limitations: public safety and public transportation services, etc. One of the legislators was State Senator Kirk Dillard, who is now chairman of the RTA. Dillard said in an interview, "It probably was a political decision made by legislative leaders, not by me. I was just a rank-and-file member at the time. The counties had budgetary pressures, and this was something they helped use to put on additional votes." Dillard recalled he was taking cues from Bob Schillerstrom, then the DuPage County Board Chairman. Schillerstrom said, "Generally speaking, I think the way that the money has been divided out to be used for taxpayers has been a good use. DuPage County is a pretty safe place. I think that they have good transportation." But some residents disagree. Rowan Julian, an organizer of the People's Lobby who lives in Wheaton, called for the county to spend more on transportation. Earlier this year, Julian led a group of residents to visit the office of Senator Laura Ellman, Democrat from Naperville, to advocate for increased access to public transit. Julian said, "To me, it seems like we're using the resources that we have to further alienate and move populations away from each other." Before the 2008 negotiations, DuPage County, quote, had a foresight to create a sustainable, dedicated funding source for its roads in the form of a gas tax it levied in 1990, and therefore had no need for more transportation funding, Conroy said. Since then, the county has been gradually shifting its budget to rely on this RTA sales tax for the majority of funding for DuPage County's Sheriff's Office. When the clawback proposal emerged from Springfield earlier this year to redirect all RTA tax dollars back towards the Northeast Illinois Transit Authority, Conroy was joined in the backlash by leaders from the other 4 Collar counties in the region. Lake County Board Chairperson Sandy Hart wrote in May, "If enacted, this bill would slash over 50% of the revenue that funds Lake County's transportation program. It is impossible to cover this loss of revenue, which will have a negative impact on economic development and safety projects." To read more about this, make sure you head on over to the Illinois Answers Project to read the rest of the story titled "DuPage County Inspired Loophole Scrambles Efforts to Save the Transit." When we come back, we've got some more stories here in the area all about the Fox River Valley as a former Lake Zurich officer thanks firefighters who rescued him. Stick around, more WRMN 10 o'clock news after this.
Are you dreaming of a getaway? Want to leave the stress of daily life behind? Whether it's a relaxing cruise or an adventurous land escape, planning the perfect vacation doesn't have to be a hassle. At Cruises International, they specialize in vacation destinations, land and sea, making your dreams come true. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, Cruises International isn't just about booking travel. They're your personal concierge, trusted travel advisor, and advocate. Your preferences are unique, and they'll take the time to understand exactly what you're looking for. From personalized service to their global network of specialists, they ensure that your vacation is tailor-made just for you. It's time to plan the vacation of a lifetime. Call 800-255-7447. That's 800-255-7447 today and speak to a cruise and vacation expert. Cruises International. It's time to set sail to your dream destination.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, listen to this. All it needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Back to the WRMN 10 o'clock news. It's currently 47 degrees outside as we march through this sunny day of a high of 56. Oh, rather, we just got an update. It is now 48 degrees in the Fox River Valley as we continue to march up to our 56 of a high today. Low of 38 is already past us, while tomorrow we'll get some of that cloud coverage back with a high of 54. You're listening to the WRMN 10 o'clock news. Our next story comes from Shaw Local. It has not been easy. A former Lake Zurich officer thanks firefighters who rescued him. When David Harwood pulled up to the crash near Prairie Grove last year, he didn't think anyone could still be alive. Harwood, a battalion chief at the McHenry Township Fire Protection District, was the first at the scene at Barronville and Wright Roads. Harwood said, "I wasn't expecting anybody to answer me, and surprisingly, he did. I had it in my mind that it was going to be a fatal car accident." Inside the destroyed Dodge Ram pickup truck was Steve Cassio. The now 39-year-old married father of two was on his way to his job as a Lake Zurich police officer, the job he'd had for 6 years. On October 20th, on the anniversary of the crash, Cassio's wife, Stephanie, and their children visited the McHenry Township and Nuda Rural Fire Districts to say thank you to the first responders who saved his life. Cassio does not remember what happened that morning. What he's been told was he was awake and talking to the first responders on the scene, but his first memory was waking up in the hospital hours later. He and his wife had returned a few days previously from their 10-year anniversary trip to Italy, and Cassio still was suffering from jet lag. He likely fell asleep at the wheel, he said, crossing the center line and hitting a tree dead on. The first thing Harwood remembers Casio asking was if they could let Lake Zurich know he would not make it into work that morning. In total, 15 firefighters responded to the scene, working 35 minutes to get Casio safely out of the truck, Harwood said. Once firefighters freed Casio from the vehicle, he was taken to Northwestern Medicine McHenry Hospital and from there flown to Advocate Condell Medical Center in Libertyville. Most of the damage was on the right side of his body, a broken right ankle, compounded fracture of his lower right leg, a broken kneecap, a broken right femur at his hip, and broken ribs and sternum, broken right wrist, and a broken nose, and a concussion. The truck did what it was supposed to do, crumpling in a way that prevented further damage to Casio's body, Harwood said. If it was an old vehicle, I don't think he'd have had the chance to survive that he got. Police and firefighters may ride each other at times, but they are all part of a bigger brotherhood. Casio said, I have an appreciation for the fire department because of that, and knows firefighters that he considers family too. He also knows that faith has a lot to do with his survival and recovery. God brought us through this. He answered a lot of prayers, and he was with the firefighters as well, Casio said. To read more or see some of the pictures of the firefighters or the crash, head on over to Shaw Local News Network. When we come back, we've got just a few more stories here in the Fox River Valley, so stick around. This is the last little bit of the WRMN 10 o'clock news.
If you've turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you.
800-433-3082. 800-433-3082. 800-433-3082. That's 800-433-3082.
Listen this Sunday afternoon to Handle on the Law.
I know we're at an at-will date, but for making a comment, like, hey, your hair looks good. And then I got a call from HR saying, hey, you know what, you're under investigation. Do I have any recourse?
Were you fired?
No, not yet.
The problem, Eddie, is they can fire you for any reason they want. They literally can wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm a little bored this morning. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire Eddie for no reason. Yep, he can do that. Yeah, that's California. Yep, welcome.
It's Handle on the Law this Sunday afternoon from 4 to 7 right here on WRMN.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, it becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs. It's probably the best thing you can do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the WRMN 10 o'clock news. It's still 48 degrees outside here in the Fox River Valley. If you ever miss anything here on WRMN, head on over to its YouTube channel. That's youtube.com. You can find us at WRMN Radio. Join in the Pumpkin Smash event around the suburbs. The Pumpkin Smash is an annual effort by communities to divert pumpkins from landfills by providing locations for residents to drop off jack-o'-lanterns to be composted. Bring your pumpkins and gourds for composting, but remove any candles, decorations, or other materials. Non-toxic paint is acceptable. In 2024, there were 103 registered Pumpkin Smash sites, plus at least 50 additional unregistered sites. They composted over 164.7 tons of pumpkins. That is 326,000 pounds. Pumpkins are 90% water, so composting them helps conserve water and nourishes the soil. For up-to-date information on the Pumpkin Smash locations and times, go to scarce.org, SCARCE.org, or your community's website. On Saturday, November 1st, that is from 8 to 11 a.m., Mount Prospect Public Works Department. At 8 a.m. to noon, Carroll Stream, Ross Fierro Town Center also. And at 9 to 11 a.m., we've got the Bartlett Metra Lots and Wooddale. At 9 a.m. to noon, Arlington Heights Frontier Park. 9 a.m. to 1, Wilmette Village Hall, Gurnee, Arlington Heights, and Oakbrook Terrace all have locations. Saturday and Sunday, Round Lake Metra Overflow Lot, the Skokie Farmers Market, and Wednesday, November 5th, Winnetka has the Winnetka Public Works. Friday, November 7th, Highland Park, and Friday and Saturday, Vernon Hills at the Hawthorne Mall. Next week, we'll have a lot more places where you can put together those pumpkins and put them in composting sites where they need to be. Thanks for listening to the WRMN 10 o'clock news. We've got lots of news from the Daily Herald. We also got it from Shaw Local. We also received news from Capital News Illinois and our headline story from Illinois Answers Project. We'll see you tomorrow.
Most people out